And then for our final topic on delegating group policy management. The solution here built into the Group Policy Management console, in contrast with what we saw back on Active Directory users and computers, is actually pretty well designed. For example, if you come here to the Group Policy Objects node and click on the Delegation tab, you have to pay attention up here to what the text is at the top of each of these screens, because in different locations, you have the option of delegating different kinds of rights and privileges. So for example, here in the Group Policy Objects screen, the following groups and users can create GPOs in this domain. So you could, for example, add in an Active Directory group here in order to accomplish that. So the IT group, for example. Punch in that, and now the IT group will be able to add in and create new GPOs here in this domain. Now, different locations in the tree here provide different kinds of rights and privileges that you can assign. So for example, if I come here to our Configure Audit Policy view and click the Delegation tab up here, these groups and users are going to have specified permission for this GPO. Notice over here that the allowed permissions are to read, to edit the settings, to delete, to modify its security. So for example, for this GPO, if I added in again the IT group, once I added in that group, I can identify then what the permissions should be. And what's really awesome about this is that the permissions are fairly well bound into here, read, edit settings, or edit settings, delete, and modify security. So you don't really have a large list of checkboxes that you have to really worry about when you're going through adding in these groups or users into these different locations. I'll show you also if we click up here to a specific organizational unit, like our company computers organizational unit. Here under the Delegation tab is a completely different view for defining what the permissions should be for the users that make use of objects here in this OU. So for example, if I once again come up here and add in the IT group, once I assign the IT group here, I can assign it to this container or this container and all its child containers. And then once I've done that, come up here to identify what the permission should be. So link GPOs, perform group policy modeling analyses, or read the group policy results data. So I would be aware of the different locations here in the GPMC where delegation can be configured, just because the large if-then statement that deals with where each of these different rights could be applied just seems like one of those really great test questions as you start mucking around in the 70-411.